Hi, this is Suzanne. Thanks for joining me today. As a reminder, the handbook, the employee handbook for McGowan Brabender is on the internet on the HR site. Please go out and familiarize yourself with it. The purpose of these recordings is really just to give you a brief overview of the handbook, to review any changes that we made and updates. So the first area that I'm going to be going over in this section is the opening section, as well as the section 1. So if you want to go there, that's great. The first piece in the overview is a message from Scott McGowan, talks about our people, what we believe in, and really is it is updated and revised, and he just has a nice opening for us. The second section is the history of McGowan Brabender. We talk about how McGowan Brabender was founded in 1972 by Pat McGowan. And we talk a little bit about our C2 partnership, and we do list all of our shareholders. The next page goes over our MB values, our brand, our mission, and vision. And there is no changes on these, but we all do need to learn these. The next piece says handbook and revisions. This is new to the handbook, and it really talks about how the handbook is meant as a guide to acquaint us at MB about our employment policies. Again, this handbook is posted on our website. Corrections, deletions, and changes will be noted on the website, and it is all of everybody's employees' responsibilities to stay current on notifications of any changes. If a change is more than just clarification, we will let people know in the HRD communication about that. If you are one of the individuals that don't often read the HRD communications, this is meant as a reminder that it is really your responsibility to go out on a regular basis to look at the handbook and any revisions. Next piece of the opening section is then employment at will. This just reminds us that the handbook is not a contract, and we state in here that the state of Ohio is an at-will employment state and that all MB employees are employed at will. This means that either you, the employee, or MB can terminate the employment relationship at any time. And then the last piece of the opening section is open communication, which is new. And we really want employees to openly discuss any work problems. And as we state that if you don't feel comfortable either speaking with your manager or the person that you report to, you can talk to human resources, a shareholder, or anyone on the leadership team. Okay, now I'm going to go into section 1. Which is titled Workplace Conduct and Guidelines. And the first part on there is the employment. It's section 1.1 is the EEO non-discrimination policy. And this policy is regardless of race, color, religion, creed, sex, gender identity, expression, genetic information, age, national origin, citizen, sexual orientation, military, or veteran status, or any other class protected by law. Basically, it ensures that MB will provide equal employment in every aspect of employment. Section 1.2 is our anti-harassment policy. This is new and revised, and we have already shared it in our harassment training. We have a strict policy against any unlawful harassment here at MB. Just don't do it. Harassment based on religion, race, sex, national origin, age, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, pregnancy, disability, genetic information, veteran status, and any other protected group is prohibited. Harassment and sexual harassment can be in many forms, and all are prohibited at MB. If you believe you have been subjected to harassment, we encourage you to confront the offending individual and ask them to stop. But if it continues or you don't feel comfortable asking the person, please report it to either your manager, myself, or somebody else in HR, Mike or Scott. We take these matters seriously, and we will investigate and take appropriate action. The next section, section 1.3, is workplace accommodations. And this is new. And basically, if you need a reasonable accommodation for a disability or a legally protected status, please contact Human Resources. Documentation from a physician or qualified professional may be required. Next section, 1.4, is Code of Ethics and Conduct. And we follow ethical standards at MB in accordance with federal, state, and local laws. We have provided a list on this policy of things that are unacceptable. It is not an all-inclusive list. If you have questions, ask your supervisor, me, or Scott. This also talks about how to report a violation or a suspected violation, and that there will be no retaliation in the event of a violation, and we will take appropriate corrective action. The next one is conflicts of interest, 1.5. And we want employees to avoid situations that involve conflict between their personal interests and MB interests. The purpose to this is we want to be an unbiased advisor to our clients and customers. If you are unsure about this, ask your manager or me. 1.6 is interoffice relationships. This is new. As you all know, we don't prohibit the employment of relatives. We have everyone go through a full interview process, though. We also will have relatives not report directly to one another. So just so you know that if you do have a relative working to you, we will work towards making that happen. The next thing that this policy states is if you decide to have a close personal relationship during your employment with MB with another coworker, you do need to notify HR to make sure there isn't any conflict of interest. Section 1.7 is confidential and proprietary information. What we've done with this is we really have made this section go along very nicely with Emily Hess's trainings as well as her HIPAA manual. It goes right along with the HIPAA training. One main thing that I want to talk about is really keep your information secure, make sure your passwords are protected, and don't share passwords. Section 1.8 has to do with new employee orientation and an introductory employment period. Orientation and onboarding lasts 90 days. We want all our new employees to work through their onboarding binder. During this time, new employees are ineligible for annual AIM Big reviews, merits, or company bonuses. If you have any questions on this policy, come talk to me. 1.9 is the computer, telephone, social media use policy. What we've done is we've combined 3 policies together. So it's a combined and updated policy. And here's what we talk about: what's prohibited and what is limited. We don't allow people to use protected health information unless it is part of their job. We don't want you to download or install things from your computer unless you have permission. And in this policy, we talk about email, voicemail, sending secure emails, cell phone use, and social media, and how to report violations. This is one that you really, truly do need to read over and understand. And it's quite long. It's one of our longest policies. It is, when you print it out, 3.5 pages. I'm just going to make sure that's right. It might be 4.5. Nope. 1, 2, 3.5 pages. Telephone monitoring is 1.10, and this is new as well. We do monitor calls and customer care, and we're just letting you know that. 1.11 is the dress code and grooming policy. We've updated this. We want business attire Monday through Thursday. And what we really ask is that you're aware of what to wear when visiting customers. And we address what you can wear on Fridays. The old policy didn't even have the jeans day on that. We also deal with grooming. And when we talk about this, we feel that the best approach is to exercise good judgment and consider your work environment. Questions, you need to ask your manager or me in Human Resources. 1.12 is the last of this section. It is the corrective action process. And this talks about how we address standards of performance if somebody isn't meeting performance standards. And it does not mean that we have to follow all of these steps. We just try to. If you're not meeting the successful steps of performance, we try to go through this. For situations that are much more serious in nature, we can move to a more serious process in this. Okay, so that is the opening section and section 1. And if you have any questions, please just give me a call in Human Resources. Thanks and have a great day.